Hi guys, welcome back. In the last session, we completed our development related to REST client. Already we have IRCTC API running in the AWS cloud, and we want to access that IRCTC application. We want to access that IRCTC application from our Make My Trip application. IRCTC application developed by somebody and they provided that URL for us. Now we are developing a client application. From this client application, we are accessing IRCTC application. Now, in order to develop the client, we need to know the details of the provider. The provider details we got in the Swagger documentation. So here, if you see the Swagger documentation, in the AWS cloud, the API is running. Post request method is available and the get request method is also available. For the post request method, it is expecting passenger data as the input and it is providing ticket data as the output. So fine, if we run our Spring Boot application, in the local machine, Make My Trip is running. In the local machine, Make My Trip application is running. Make My Trip application having a UI. End user will communicate with that UI and will ask the Make My Trip to book at the ticket. Make My Trip application will take the data from the user and will give it to the IRCTC API. IRCTC API will book the ticket, will send the ticket data back to the Make My Trip. Make My Trip will send the ticket data to the end user. Right, now our application is started, localhost :8080. Now enter passenger information is available. Now I will enter some details here: first name, last name, date of journey, from address to address, and a train number. Click on book ticket. So when I click on the book ticket, I got the ticket ID with 161. So I think 160 requests received by my application, guys. 160 times you people try. Now ticket ID, I got it. Click on go back. Now, yes, I can see that there are 160 tickets booked in my application. Now, if we see our API documentation, so there are two operations available, list operations. One is post request operation, another one is get request operation. Now I want to develop another UI page which will display the option to search for the ticket. So here, search ticket option I want to give here. Now here book ticket option is available, and do you want to search for the ticket? So if you go here, main page, web app, views, in the index.jsp, I will give one hyperlink. So in this hyperlink, what I will give is a href. I will simply give search page. Okay, guys. So now a href search. So here, check ticket, check get ticket. Now I'm writing one hyperlink here. So here, get ticket option is available, or else I will give an option called search ticket. Okay, search ticket option is I'm giving. When I click on search for the ticket, it should go to another page with a text field to search for the ticket. Now let me create one more page called new other JSP file. I'm going to create a page with a name called search.jsp. Search.jsp. Click on next, click on finish. So here I'm going to create one search ticket. So here, get your ticket info. Now here I'm going to take a form, a simple form. In this form, I'm going to write one field here, ticket ID. Enter your ticket ID. So that is input type is equal to text, input type is equal to text, name is equal to ticket ID. Name is equal to ticket ID. Then input type is equal to submit. Then value is equal to search. Like this one, simple JSP page I want to create. Now in this JSP page, once you have searched for the ticket, it has to print the ticket data back. It has to send the ticket data back. Now in my controller, I will write one more method. that method is used to handle, that method is responsible to display ticket search page. And so here I'm writing a simple get request method. So this method is used to bind search operation, and here I'm giving the page name also as a search. Okay, search page. Now whenever you click on this hyperlink in the index page, it will go to the search method. Search method will return the search JSP. In the search JSP, one form will be displayed. In the search JSP, one form will be displayed. In this form, I will give action is equal to search ticket. Action is equal to search ticket. So now I want to write one method which is binded to search ticket. Search ticket. So what is the purpose of this method? It will take the ticket ID which is coming as input. Search ticket. For that, I'm taking string ticket ID. Whether really the ticket ID is coming to controller or not, let me check this. If the ticket ID is coming to controller, then I will make a REST call with the IRCTC. So what is the ticket ID that the user is giving? Really, am I able to access the ticket ID or not in the controller? I will check that. To access that data, I will go for request param. I will go for request param. So what is the meaning of request param? To capture the data from the form, right? There is only one field available. So that's why I'm not going for the form binding, guys. So here ticket ID is submitted by using this form. So this is the name of the ticket ID. So that the form data will come to the server in the URL request body or in the URL. It is a get request, so it will come in the URL. I want to take that data. For that, I'm taking the ticket ID as a request param. Now here, logic I need to write it. Currently, I don't have the logic to get a ticket from IRCTC API. I should write the logic to get the ticket from IRCTC API. Before that, let me run my application, run as boot application. Run as boot application. Let's check this. Let's check this. My application is started. Now go to here. Right. Now click on set ticket. So when I click on search ticket, it is asking the ticket ID and asking to click on search button. Now clear the console, enter the ticket ID as 161 and click on search. Now the ticket ID going to the server in the URL. So I'm submitting a form. See here in my controller, I'm able to get the ticket ID 161, which I have given in the URL. If I give the ticket ID as 162 and click on the search, then the ticket ID going to the server. So when the ticket ID is going to the server, am I able to capture the ticket ID? Guys, so whenever user search with the ticket ID, am I able to take that ticket ID to my controller class? Am I able to get the ticket ID to my controller class from the UI? Yes. Now, where this ticket information is available? Ticket information is available in my application, or ticket information is available in the IRCTC database. Ticket information is available in my application, or ticket information is available in the IRCTC database. Guys, come on. Ticket information is available in my application, or ticket information available in the IRCTC database. IRCTC database. Now, user want to ticket in the Make My Trip by using his ticket ID, but ticket data is available in the IRCTC DB. Now, do you think that from our Make My Trip application, we can access IRCTC database directly to get the ticket data? Can I access IRCTC database to get the ticket data? No. What I need to do now? Again, I need to make a REST call. Again, I need to make a REST call to the IRCTC API. Let me go for my service layer method. Here we have one method to book the ticket. Already URL is available. Now I want to go for another method. So what is the API URL to get the ticket? /ticket/ticket ID. So in the API, if you have a documentation 161, try it out. So it is not coming here. If I go for 160, click on try it out, then the ticket information will come. Response code 500, there is some problem. So what is the problem? Content type is XML. Now I want JSON. Try it out. Am I able to get the JSON data? So my API will not support for XML. I want response in the XML. If I click on try it out, I'm not getting that XML because it is not supporting. It is supporting for JSON. When I give 160 with JSON, try it out. Am I able to get the ticket data as a response? Am I able to get the ticket data as a response? Now we know what is our URL. Now we know what is our URL. So now this is IRCTC endpoint 1. This endpoint 1 is used to book the ticket. Now I need to go for IRCTC endpoint 2. So this is ticket/ticket ID. IRCTC expecting ticket ID in the URL. IRCTC expecting ticket ID in the URL. If I want to book the ticket from Make My Trip to IRCTC, I should access the first URL. Now here, my scenario is I want to get the ticket data based on the ticket ID. So user is entering the ticket ID in the user interface, in the UI. From the UI, I will take the ticket. That ID I need to send to the IRCTC and I need to fetch the ticket data. So for that, I should write one more method here. Let's observe. Public ticket get ticket info. For that, I am passing string ticket ID. Okay. In the service layer, I am writing a method called get ticket info. For that, I am passing ticket ID as input because with the ticket ID only, we can get the ticket data. Right. Now we need the REST template. REST template RT is equal to new REST template. Then RT dot get for entity. So yesterday I used a method called post for entity. What is the meaning of post for entity? To send a post request. Today I want to go for get for entity. So in a get for entity, there are 3 methods available. I'm going for third method. First one is representing URL. So to which URL you want to send a get request? To send a get request, we will use get for entity. To send a post request, we will use post for entity. First one is URL. To which URL you want to send a get request? Second one, response. So response will come in the JSON. That JSON response you convert into ticket object. And it is expecting ticket ID as a path parameter. Represent that ticket ID as a path parameter. That's it. So this will make a get request to the IRCTC API with this URL, and response will come from IRCTC as a ticket JSON. Ticket JSON should be converted to ticket object. Ticket ID is a path parameter. Okay. Now get the response. I got the response entity. So here response entity dot get status code value. If it is a success, we will get the value as 200. If it is 200, then I will return the body as ticket object. Otherwise, I will return null value. So I will check the status. If status is equal to 200. If status is equal to 200, then I will go for response entity dot get body. That body will be coming as a ticket object. Then I need to return the ticket object. Else I will return null value if ticket is not available. So now, what is the purpose of the first method and what is the purpose of the second method? Guys, can you tell me what is the purpose of the first method and what is the purpose of the second method? Are you guys able to understand? What is the purpose of my first method and what is the purpose of my second method? What is the purpose of my first method and what is the purpose of my second method? My first method is used to send a get request to the IRCTC with the ticket ID as an input and get the ticket data as an output. My second method is responsible to send passenger data as an input to book the ticket. Okay. Now my service layer method is ready. Let us call this method in the controller. Service dot get ticket info with the ticket ID. Okay. Now that ticket info I need to send to the UI by using modal object. How can I send to the model object? Model dot add attribute of key comma value. What is the key? Key is a ticket. Value is the ticket info object. Key is the ticket. Value is the ticket info object. Right. So whenever user click on the search button with the ticket ID, request will come to this method. This method will take the ticket ID from the URL and will call the service method. Service method will send a get request to the IRCTC second URL here, and it will get the ticket data. So controller will send the ticket data to the UI page by using model object. Now in the UI page, we need to print the ticket data in the table. So yesterday, we have already implemented the logic to print the ticket data in the table. So same thing, I will print again. That's it. Same thing, I will print again. That's it. Go to the search page. In the search page, I will write a table. It is going to print the ticket data there. That's it. Okay. So here, from the controller, I'm sending the ticket object. That ticket object, I'm going to print here. Ticket ID. And ticket ID is already we are providing. So no need to give the ID. Ticket status, cost, from to, train number, all the information we are giving here. Now refresh. Application is already running. Stop this and run the application. Right click, run as boot application. Right click, run as boot application. Clear the console. Yeah. Now go to our project. Open the home page of the project. Yes, our home page is opened here. Now go for set ticket. Ticket details are not available here. Enter the ticket ID. I'm giving the ticket ID as a 161. Click on search. Now when I click on the search, am I able to get the ticket data? From where this ticket data is coming? The ticket data is available in our database and it is available in IRCTC database. Ticket data is available in our database and it is available in the IRCTC database. It is available in the IRCTC database. Now, if I give the ticket number as something like 150, now from 150, somebody booked from our students, Hyderabad to MBNR, Mahbub Nagar or something, I don't know. So the ticket cost they have given like this, they have given the number as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So am I able to get their ticket data by using ticket ID? Let me check with 151, search. Yeah, same person has tried with that. Let me go for 123. Somebody booked with that, Nellore and Hyderabad. Okay guys, let me go with some 100. Somebody booked it from Pune to BBSR. Are we able to get our ticket data? Our students booked the ticket with my API URL. All the data I have stored in the IRCTC DB. With the ticket ID, I'm able to get that information. With the ticket ID, I'm able to get that information. 131, somebody from Hyderabad to Bangalore. So our students only booked all these tickets. So they developed a client and they inserted the record into IRCTC DB. Now I have booked 161. When I click on 161, I'm getting this record. So here, if I click on go back, enter passenger info, I can click on one more. I mean, I'm entering John, Steve, right? Date of journey, some value I'm giving 10/33/2023 from HYD to Chennai. Okay, train number 0987. Click on book ticket. So please find your ticket info from Hyderabad to Chennai. 162 ticket number is booked. This is the information. Now go to 162, click on go here, set ticket, and click on search button with 162. Am I able to get my ticket data back? So ticket booking logic is available in the IRCTC. Client logic available in the Make My Trip. So Make My Trip is taking the data from the passenger. Make My Trip will send the passenger data to IRCTC. When the client want to search the ticket, so we need to enter the ticket ID. When you enter the ticket ID, what is happening? Make My Trip is communicating with IRCTC, sending a get request and getting the ticket data. The ticket data we are displaying to our customer in our UI. So can I say distributed communication is happening now? One project is talking to another project. So now Make My Trip and IRCTC projects are running in the same machine. They are running in the two different machines. Make My Trip and IRCTC running in the same machine. They are running in the two different machines. Two different machines. So can I say one project is communicating with another project? Today, client is Make My Trip. Tomorrow, client can be another also. Yatra can come, GoIBibo can come. They can also access the IRCTC. IRCTC providing B2B communication. Make My Trip communicating with IRCTC. Yatra can communicate with IRCTC. GoIBibo also can communicate with the IRCTC. Are you guys able to understand this? I'm able to send a post request to the IRCTC by using REST template, and I'm able to send GET request to the IRCTC API by using REST template. Here, my REST client logic is available. So this is GET request logic and this is post request logic. GET request logic and post request logic is available. Are you clear with my point? Guys, now in this scenario, I have hard-coded the API URLs in the Java program. Is it recommended to hard-code the URLs in the Java program? Is it recommended to hard-code the URLs in the Java program, or it is not recommended?
Not recommended.
It is not recommended. Now let me do one thing. Go for application and properties file. In this properties file, I will configure IRCTC dot endpoint dot one. Okay. Then IRCTC dot endpoint dot book ticket and IRCTC dot endpoint dot get ticket. Book ticket and get ticket. Like this I'm writing. Two properties in my properties file. Now I will take this first endpoint URL. This is for booking the ticket. And I will take the second endpoint URL. It is used to get the ticket. It is used to get the ticket. So this is the key and this is the value. Now what I will do is, I will remove hard-coded value from here. I will remove hard-coded value from here. Now I'm going to remove this hard-coded value from here. And I'm going to remove the final because I cannot keep it as a final variable now. Value is not initialized. For final variables, initialization is a mandate. I will use @value annotation and I will specify key for that. So what is the key in the properties file? So here I'm going to use @value. With the @value, with this key, it has to fetch the value from the properties file. Okay, that is book ticket and this is a get ticket. Okay, fine. Now I have removed those URLs hard-coded values from my application. Okay, so here let me give IRCTC endpoint, or else I will make it as IRCTC book ticket URL. Okay, book ticket URL. IRCTC get ticket URL. IRCTC get ticket URL. Meaningful names I'm giving. So this is used to get the ticket. This is the URL to get the ticket. This is the URL to book the ticket. So now, if URL is changed, do I need to change my Java program? Tomorrow, IRCTC endpoint URL is changed. Do I need to change my Java program? I no need to change my Java program. If URL is changed, do I need to change my Java program or I no need to change my Java program? I no need to change my Java program. Got my point, guys? Just I need to change in the property file. Let us see here. I'm reading the data from the property files. The URL, earlier I mentioned in the service class. Now I removed the URLs from the service class. I kept in the properties file. How to read the data from the properties file to our variable? I'm using @value annotation. Okay. Now let me run this application. Run as boot application. Run as boot application. Go to this search page, search ticket, enter 162 that I have booked recently. Search. It is failed. URI is not absolute. Now, is it able to read the value or it is not able to read the value? Guys, is it able to read the value or not able to read the value? It is not able to read the value. At the rate value is not coming here. At the rate value not coming here. At the rate value annotation I am using. With at the rate value, I want to get that data into this variable, but it is not coming. Let me debug this. Why the value is not coming? Let us check that. Stop this project, refresh, debug this project, debug as boot application. I want to debug this, why that property is not coming. I want to keep a breakpoint. Project is running in the debug mode. Yeah. Go for this. Search ticket. Enter the ticket ID. Enable the breakpoints. Breakpoint is enabled. Click on search. Now, request came to this method. Go inside this method. Ticket ID I got as 162. Go inside this method. Get ticket URL. So ticket URL value coming from the properties file or not coming from the properties file? Guys, is it reading that properties file value or it is not reading that properties file value? It is not reading that properties value. That URL is coming as a null value. That's why application is failed. Any guess why it is not reading that value? IRCTC endpoint book ticket. Get ticket. I don't think underscore will be a problem. Run as boot application. Debug as boot application. Search ticket, ticket ID, click on search. Breakpoint is available. Go inside this method. Null value. IRCTC get ticket URL is the null value. Let me check here. Reading application dot properties in Spring Boot using @value annotation. @value, correct. Syntactically, yes, dollar we are using. at the rate value. That is fine.
I think it is because of static keywords, sir. If you remove the static keyword, probably it may work.
Right, sir. So here I have added a static. We can't do that static. I removed final, but I forgot to remove the static. Right click, run as boot application. Good. Application started. Now go here. It is started. Search ticket. Now give 162, click on search. Now, is it working? So am I hard coding the properties for the URLs, or I'm keeping them in the properties file? I'm keeping them in the properties file and I'm reading the URLs from the properties file. So what is the advantage with this approach, guys? What is the advantage with this approach? We have removed hard coding properties. We have not using the URLs directly in our Java class. We are not using our URLs in the Java class directly. We are reading the URLs from the properties file. To read the URLs from the properties file, what we are using? We are using @value annotation. Okay. So the URLs I'm configuring in my properties file. The URLs I'm configuring in my properties file. And I'm reading the URLs from the properties file by using value annotation, application.properties. So like this, I'm writing my properties file. Here I'm configuring the view resolver, and this is my book ticket endpoint URL, and this is my get ticket endpoint URL. This is my service class. In my service class, I'm referring those URLs by using @value annotation. That's it. So this method will send a get request to the IRCTC API. This method will send a post request to the IRCTC API. My IRCTC API is running in the AWS cloud platform. Guys, now you got the clarity how provider will be developed and how consumer will be developed. What is provider and what is consumer? What is the provider and what is consumer? Yeah. What is provider and what is consumer?
IRCTC API is the provider. Our client is the consumer.
Are we able to understand what is B2B communication now? Are you able to understand what is B2B communication now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anybody having any question on this application? Do you want this code or you can develop this on your own?
We will develop.
Yeah, good. So because there is nothing difficult here, guys. Already API is available. API URL I have given for you. That is running in the cloud platform. You only need to develop a simple UI application with service layer. When user performs some operation in the UI, it will go to controller, from the controller to service, from service to REST API. So Make My Trip application is called as a client application. IRCTC application is called as a resource application. That's it. Now, currently in our project, which class we are using to develop the client logic? Currently in our project, which class we
Make
are
my trip.
develop the client logic?
REST template.
We are using REST template. So REST template is recommended or REST template is not recommended?
Not recommended. Web client.
REST template is recommended or not recommended?
Depend upon the condition.
No,
From 5.0 onwards, not recommended.
From Spring 5.0 onwards, instead of REST template, we need to use web client. From Spring 5.0, from Spring 5.x version onwards, we have to use web client instead of REST template, because whatever is providing by the REST template, same thing is providing by web client also. REST template will support for only synchronous communication, whereas web client will support for both synchronous communication as well as asynchronous communication. Now, I want to develop a client by using web client. So can I stop our discussion on the REST template? Guys, can I stop discussion on the REST template?
Yes.
Yes, because that is outdated already. People are not using in the market. But just to give you the basic idea how a REST client will be developed, I used REST template in these methods. Now in the same methods, I will remove the REST template and I will go for web client. Okay, web client. How to develop a REST client with the web client? Web client. It is introduced in Spring 5.x version. Web client is a predefined interface. Web client is a predefined interface introduced in Spring 5.x version. Using web client interface, we can develop REST client logics. You can develop REST client logics. Web client supports both sync and async communications. Guys, do you know what is the difference between sync communication and async communication?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is the difference between sync communication?
Yeah. There is no need to depend on the other task for asynchronous. Depending on one task to another task is the
sync nothing
syncing.
but blocking thread. Async nothing but non-blocking thread. What is the meaning of blocking thread and non-blocking thread? After sending request, we have to wait for response. When you go for async, what is the meaning
No
here?
need to wait.
After sending request, we no need to wait for response. We can proceed further. That is called non-blocking thread. REST template supports for which type of communication?
Sync.
Only synchronous.
Yes, REST template supports for only synchronous communication. Web client supports both synchronous communication as well as asynchronous communication also. Now guys, here REST template class is available in Spring Boot starter web dependency. Okay, whenever you add a web starter in the pom.xml, then you will get the REST template. Suppose if you want to go for web client, then web starter is not sufficient. We need to go for web flux dependency. Which dependency we need to add for the web client?
Web
Guys,
plus.
come on. Right. For REST template, already I created my project. In my pom.xml, which dependency available? Can you tell me in my pom.xml, which dependency I have added? Web starter. So to develop a REST controller or to use the REST template classes, this web starter is sufficient. But here, if you want to go for web client concept, web starter is not sufficient. You need to go for which dependency? Web flux starter. REST template class is part of the web starter. Web client interface is part of the web flux starter. This is class and this is interface. One is a class and another one is a interface. Are you guys getting my point? Yes. Which starter we need to use in the pom.xml to work with REST template?
Yeah, web starter.
Just web starter is sufficient to work with the REST template. If you want to work with the web client, we need to go for
Web flux
web
interface.
flux starter.
Web flux.
Right. Now let me change the starter to web flux. Now guys, in these methods, whatever the logic is available, I will delete this logic. Okay. Service methods. I already given the notes I have given that class in the notes, guys. Service layer with REST template. I have given the notes already. Now I am going to delete this logic. Because I want to implement these methods by using web client now. Tell me, what is web client? What is the purpose of web client? And what we can do by using web client? What is web client? What is the purpose of web client? What we can do by using web client?
Yeah. We can use it for both sync and asynchronous thing. No need to wait.
Web client is a predefined interface that introduced in the Spring 5.x version. The current Spring version is 6.x. Web client is a predefined interface that introduced in the Spring 5.x version. Using web client interface, we can develop REST client logic. Web client supports both synchronous communications as well as asynchronous communication. Synchronous communication means blocking the thread. That means after you send a request, you have to wait for the response if it is a synchronous communication. If you go for asynchronous communication, that is the concept of non-blocking thread. After sending the request, we no need to wait for the response. REST template supports synchronous communication. Web client supports asynchronous communication. REST template available in the web starter. Web client is available in the web flux starter. So I have changed my starter to web flux. Earlier it is just web. Now I change it to web flux. Now here, first I want to develop the logic to get the ticket. Let me stop my server. I want to use web client to get the ticket information. First, I want to get the ticket by sending a GET request to this GET ticket URL by using web client. First of all, web client is an interface. We need to get the object of the web client. Let's import the package web client dot create. Web client dot create. It is used to create the web client object, factory method. We can't use new because web client is an interface, guys. It is an interface since Spring 5.x version. Okay, non-blocking reactive client to perform HTTP requests. Right, if you want to send a HTTP request, then you can go for this web client. This web client is a interface. Now, to create the object for the web client, I'm calling a method called web client dot create, which is giving the web client object. Using this web client object, now I want to send a GET request. Using this web client object, I want to send a GET request. What I can do? Web client dot get. Web client dot get. If you want to send a post request, web client dot post. There are methods available. First, I want to send a GET request. So what is the URL? Web client dot get dot URI. What is the URL? I am already having IRCTC. URL. Okay. Dot will represent to send a request. Dot retrieve. Dot retrieve. After sending the request, it will give the response now. Retrieve the response. After retrieving the response, then bind that response to one object. So I want to bind the response to ticket object. Body to mono ticket dot class. After this, I'm giving block method. What is the meaning of a block method? This block method is used to make our web client as a synchronous client. A web client, you send a GET request to this URL. You retrieve the response coming in from the IRCTC. You bind that response body to this ticket object. You wait for the response. That is the meaning of a block. So I'm making web client as a synchronous client now because I want my web client to wait till it get the response from the IRCTC. After getting the response only, it has to proceed further. It has to proceed further. I'm getting this ticket object. I'm getting this ticket object. Now, if ticket object not equal to null, if the ticket object not equal to null, then return the ticket. So this is my client logic to send a GET request by using web client. Okay. So observe what I'm doing here. Web client dot create. I'm creating a web client object. Using this web client, I want to send a GET request. Web client dot get. I want to send a GET request. Dot URI. So to which URL you want to send a GET request? I'm using dot URI. And I'm using dot retrieve. That means after sending the request, whatever the response you will get, you retrieve the response. Then body to mono. Whatever the response you get, you store the response to ticket object. Because ticket JSON you will get, that ticket data you store into ticket object. Dot block method, it is used to specify wait for the response. I am making a synchronous request by using web client. As we discussed, web client will support for both synchronous communication as well as asynchronous communication. I'm making a synchronous request by using web client. Now, here guys, dot get represents a GET request. Represents HTTP GET request. If you want to send a post request, dot post method. This is endpoint URL. Retrieve means take data from response body. Body to modo means bind response body data to Java object. Block, make a synchronous call. Make sync call. That is the meaning of each method that I am calling. Web client dot create. What is the meaning of web client dot create? Get web
Object.
client instance. I'm creating the object or I'm getting the object. When I call web client dot create, it will give me web client object. With the web client object, I want to send a get request. Web client dot get. So represents HTTP get request dot URI. IRCTC get ticket URL. I'm giving the endpoint URL. Retrieve. Take response from response body. Then bind response body data to Java object. Here I'm giving ticket dot class. That means whatever the response comes from the IRCTC, that response will be stored into ticket object. I want to make a synchronous request. For that, I'm using dot block method. If ticket object is not equal to null, return the ticket. Now let's try this. Let's run this application. Refresh, run as boot application. I implemented just a get request by using web client. Let us see from the UI, are we able to retrieve the ticket data with the ticket ID? Are we able to retrieve the ticket data with the ticket ID? Let us check this. I'm starting my application. Application started with the port number 88. Clear the console. Go here, refresh our page. Checkpoint. There is an error. Localhost colon 8080. Application is failed to start. Illegal state could not resolve view with the name index. Internal server error. Okay, stop this. Oh, got it. Here, whenever we are adding a web starter, we need to keep web starter also we need. I remove the web starter, right? Web starter, along with that web starter I need to keep. Refresh, run as boot application. Now the application is started. Go here, 8080. Now the page is loaded. So don't delete the web starter from the build path, guys. Don't delete the web starter dependency. Keep the web starter dependency, then add the webflux dependency. Okay, clear the console. Go here, set ticket. We implemented only get request with the web client 162. Click on search. It is failed. Not enough variable values available to expand ticket ID. Yes. The problem is, guys, here I'm just giving the URL. I'm just giving the URL. Am I setting ticket ID? My API is expecting what? Ticket ID in the URL. My API is expecting ticket ID in the URL. Now here, in our logic, am I setting the ticket ID or I'm not setting the ticket ID? Guys, observe. Am I passing the ticket ID?
Not setting.
Not setting. Now, let's verify. When I go for .uri method, here if you see, I passed just URI. Okay, I need to pass the URI variable also. IRCTC get ticket URL, comma, ticket ID also I need to send. This ticket ID is a path parameter. If you go to our properties file, we have get ticket URL. That URL is expecting a path parameter. So that path parameter value I'm setting here. So this is the URL. For that URL, ticket ID is a path parameter. I'm setting that value. Okay. Now clear the console. Go back to our API. Go back. Set ticket 162. Click on search. Again, it is failed. Ticket ID from get request, sending a ticket with 162. Let me try this request in the browser. Internal server error. Okay. It is failing dot URI dot accept media type dot application underscore JSON value. Accept media type application underscore JSON. I'm telling that I need to accept only JSON value. I want to accept only JSON value. Let me try this. Stop this and run this application, run as boot application. Yeah, clear the console, go back here, search ticket. UI page, search ticket with 162, click on search. Yeah, perfect. Now we are getting the response. So earlier, when I did not set the content accept value, it is not able to understand in which format I am expecting the response from the API. So now here I'm setting accept. What is the meaning of accept here, guys? We already discussed. What is the meaning of accept? What is the meaning of accept?
Receiving the data. What type of
I'm
expecting
sending-
the data.
Yes, I'm sending.
Forget how you expect.
Right. I'm sending a GET request to the IRCTC API with the accept header as application/JSON. Okay. Media type I'm sending application/JSON. So it is giving the response as a JSON data. That JSON data I'm binding to my ticket object and I'm waiting for the response. After I got the response from the IRCTC, this method will return to controller. Controller will send it to the UI. In the UI, we are printing the data. Let's go for 161 also. Click on search. Hyderabad to Pune. 162, it is Hyderabad to Chennai. So like this, am I able to send a GET request by using REST template as well as by using web client? Come on, guys. Are you guys getting my point? Just look at this. What is the purpose of here dot get method? What is the purpose of dot get method?
Return the data.
It is representing a GET request. I want to send a GET request by using web client. What is the purpose of dot URI method?
To pass.
To send, to decide to which URL you want to send the request. Ticket ID is a path parameter. What is this accept represents?
So media type, whether it is XML or JSON.
Just JSON.
After sending when we are sending a GET request, we are telling that I will accept the response in the JSON format. Then what is this retrieve? Take the response from the response
body.
Then what is this body to mono?
You bind the
response body to this particular Java class. Whatever the response comes from the IRCTC, at the client side, store the data into the Java object. Then what is this block method?
Make sync call to wait till that complete.
I'm telling to wait. Okay. Now I want to book a ticket. So to book a ticket, we need to send a post request. So here, by using web client, I'm sending a GET request. Now I want to send a post request by using web client. So before going to develop post request, let's observe this method once. What I have done in this method. Guys, are you clear with this?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay. Now guys, here, if you want to accept both XML or JSON, here accept method is taking a variable argument. Someone asking how to accept multiple values. Accept, what is the parameter for the accept method? Media type, 3 dots. What is the meaning of 3 dots? Whereas you can supply multiple values as input. Okay. Now, let me go for process ticket booking. So here I want to send a post request by using web client. First, let me get the web client instance. I'm getting the web client instance. I want to send a post request. When we are sending a post request, we need to send request body data. We need to create the request packet. As I told you earlier, we need to create a request packet. What will be there in the request packet, guys? What will be there in the request packet? Request URL, request
header and request body.
URL already we know. Header, we know that I want to send the data in the JSON format. Body, I want to send as a passenger data. I need to create this request programmatically by using web client. So I'm having my web client object. Now let me go for web client dot post. What is the method I'm using? Post. So earlier, what is the method I'm using? Get. So get is used to send a get request to the URL. Post is used to send a post request to the URL. Dot post dot URI. Here I'm specifying to which URL I want to send the request. I want to send the request to IRCTC book ticket URL. Then dot body. What is the meaning of a dot body?
Request body.
Request body. I'm going to use a class called body inserters dot from object. Body inserters dot from object, that is a passenger. Dot content type. So content type by default will convert that object into JSON value. If you want to set the content type, there will be a method here. Add header will be available. Headers will be available here. Header value, I will specify content type. I'm sending the value as a JSON format. That means whatever the object available, that object should be converted to JSON. Then dot retrieve, then dot body to mono. I'm getting ticket data. Bind this to ticket object, then dot block. Dot block. So can you guys see here? From object is deprecated. Body inserters dot. From object is deprecated. From value, that is passenger. Something like this. Yeah. Now, so this block method will give me ticket object. This block method will give me a ticket object. Right. So see here, I'm writing dot post. What is the meaning of dot post here? To represent a post request. What is the dot URI? To which URL you want to send a post request? Guys, I'm getting some noise. If you want interactive session, please, when you are getting some background noise, please mute your mic so that it will not disturb others. Okay. Now here, web client dot post. It is representing that I want to send a post request. Dot URI. To which URL you want to send a post request, I'm specifying. Dot body. What data you want to send in the request body, you will specify by using dot body. Right. What is the header? What data I'm sending? I'm sending passenger data that should go in the JSON format. Header I'm setting content type as a JSON. Once it is sending the request, retrieve the response. So with the passenger data, I'm sending a request. It will give the ticket data. Bind the ticket data to ticket object. Then wait for the response. Okay, same logic. If ticket object comes without null value, then I will return the ticket object. Otherwise, I will return the ticket object. null value. Right. Check this logic. Dot post, dot URI, dot body, header, retrieve, body to mono, and block. Yep. Let me try. Is it working or not? It is refreshed. Okay. Let me go back, book the ticket. This time I'm booking the ticket for Kathy Sira. Date of journey 01/04/2023 from New York to Texas. Train number something like this. Okay. Clear the console. Book ticket. Failed. Internal server error. I'm not able to send the post request. Check this. What is the issue we are getting? Block terminated with an error. Checkpoint. Reactor core publisher error has observed with this ticket URL. With this ticket URL. Block terminated with an error. Blocking the get reactor URL. Book ticket. Ticket 103 is added or what? 163. With 163, click on search. Yeah, 163, somebody else used it, guys. 164, I have given the name as Kathy. Kathy Sira, New York to New Jersey. 164 also added. 165, New York to Texas. My record is added, but here it failed. Okay, I got it. I did not specify accept. Na? Earlier also, when I don't specify accept, it failed, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it is not able to consider that response as a JSON response. So I need to set accept header value. Right. Response request is added. Request is sent. Request is sent. Response also came. That response is not binded. So can I say I'm sending content type and accept both the headers in the request? I'm sending content type and accept both the headers in the request. Now, let me go for this. Refresh, run as boot application. Refresh boot application. Application started. Go back. Go back. Book a ticket. First name Ashok and last name IT. Date of journey some value from Vangol to Guntur. Train number some value. Right. So I have given from as Vangol to as Guntur. Train number 7865. Click on book ticket. Perfect. Am I able to book the ticket from Vangol to Guntur? Train number 7865. Ticket ID 166. Go back. Search the ticket 166. My ticket ID is 166. Click on search. Yes, I'm getting that. Now I'm not getting any exception. So with this, can I say I'm able to book ticket with IRCTC using Make My Trip? In the Make My Trip, we have client logic. That client I developed yesterday, I developed by using REST template. Today I developed by using web client. Guys, you got the clarity? What is web client? How to develop client logic by using web client? How to send a GET request by using web client? And how to send POST request by using web client? Come on, guys. Anybody having any questions? This logic also I'm giving in the notes. So I want you people to practice it. Client development by using web client implementation, REST client development with web client, REST client development with web client. Guys, do you want the service to be up or should I stop my Linux machine in the cloud?
Keep it for 1 day.
For 1 day?
For tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Okay, then fine. I don't stop it till tomorrow. You can access my API. So I want you people to practice this client development by using both REST template and web client, guys. After tomorrow, if you want to practice also, API will not be available. So till tomorrow, I will keep my API. I want you people to develop the client and feel that experience. You are able to communicate from one application to another application. Earlier, when we developed the API, we tested that API from the Postman. But today, am I using Postman? No. I'm using my client application and I'm accessing. Here, by using web client, I'm preparing the HTTP request packet and I'm sending the request. So here I'm setting, I'm telling that I want to send a post request to this URL. In that request body, keep the passenger data. I'm setting dot body inserter dot from value. So whatever the passenger object I'm passing, it will take the passenger data and it will convert the passenger data to JSON and will keep in the request body. I'm setting the header, content type as application/JSON, accept as application/JSON. So headers also I'm sending in the request and I'm taking the response body, converting the response body to Java object by using body to mono, and I am getting the ticket object. Whatever the ticket object I'm getting, I'm giving to controller sending the ticket object to UI. In the UI, the ticket is printing. Okay. So 166 ticket is booked. If you go back, you can book one more ticket also. Ashok IT, date of journey from Chennai to Delhi. Something like this. 0198. Click on book ticket. So 167 Chennai to Delhi ticket is booked. So passenger data I have given to Make My Trip. That means Make My Trip is my application. Now I am a client. I'm using Make My Trip. I have given my information. I have given my journey information. Make My Trip UI has taken my data and given to Make My Trip controller. Make My Trip controller called Make My Trip service. Make My Trip service using web client to access IRCTC. Passenger data sent to IRCTC. IRCTC given ticket response. The ticket response I'm displaying for the user. Now here, the user want to search the ticket. They can go for search ticket. They will give the ticket ID. When they give the ticket ID and click on search, from the UI, request will go to Make My Trip controller. Make My Trip controller will talk Make My Trip service. Make My Trip service will send a get request to the IRCTC. Based on the ticket ID, IRCTC will give the response. That response I'm printing for my user. So can I say it is a B2B communication? In my Windows computer, one project is running. In the AWS Cloud Linux computer, another project is running. From one project, we are able to communicate with the another project. This is called web service communication. Concept is interesting. Guys, concept is interesting. How many of you know that projects will communicate like this?
So we know.
Anybody who worked on these kind of scenarios in the companies?
Yes, we worked.
Yes.
Yes, we worked.
You got more clarity.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
In a get method, actually, you have make a data type as a string. So it is not. It is
If you
applicable.
mention here in the body to mono string dot class, you will get the raw JSON data. Then you need to store into string variable. Raw JSON will come as the output.
Yeah, the ticket ID string.
If you specify body to mono as a string dot class, the IRCTC will give the string JSON data. JSON data will be stored to string variable. When I'm giving body to mono ticket dot class, JSON only will come as a response. That JSON will be converted to ticket object by this web client.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, here instead of using controller, we can use REST controller also. Right?
You can use it, no problem. Anything you can use.
So how to get ahead with both XML and JSON, like we have done in earlier application?
Sir, whenever we are accepting the data, we need to accept only one format, right? The provider will give you multiple options to take either JSON as input or XML as output. But as a consumer, you need to take only one format, right? How can you accept two formats? If you want, you can do that, but only one day format of data you will get it. If you want XML, you can take, or if you want JSON, you can take. Provider will give you two options. You choose one option from that.
If we already know default, this provider is going JSON as a response body, then again why we need to accept here?
Web client is not able to understand that. For web client, we need to tell that you are getting the JSON data, you convert the JSON to this ticket object. Provider is giving JSON, but for web client, we are informing.
But in REST template, by default, it is only.
Yes, by in the REST template, by default, it is taking that.
Here we need to handle everything.
Yes, we need to specify accept. What is the value that we are getting? Based on that, web client will convert that into your object format, whether it is XML or JSON. According to that accept, it will take that value and it will convert that. Guys, I have given the REST template code also in the notes, and I have given web client code also in the notes. The only thing is, I want you to practice it. Now you have my REST API URL also with you. That will be available till tomorrow. Please complete your practice by tomorrow. By tomorrow night, I will stop the Linux machine which is running in the cloud platform. Okay. And tomorrow is a festival. No class. Sri Ramanami festival is there tomorrow. You can utilize that tomorrow for your practice. We have the next class on Friday. Okay. Friday, I will tell you how to perform asynchronous calls by using this web client. As of now, we are performing asynchronous calls or we are performing synchronous calls?
Synchronous calls.
We have made synchronous call. How we are representing that it is a synchronous call?
Dot block.
Yes, we are using dot block. With the dot block, we are making a synchronous call. So now, in the Friday session, I'm going to show you how to make asynchronous call by using web client. That means after sending the request, I no need to wait for the response. Okay, guys. Fine. Thank
Only
you.
Ashok, one thing, to utilize tomorrow's holiday properly, that video is not getting uploaded. That's the concern. Can you please get it uploaded?
Sure, sir. By tomorrow early morning, it will be uploaded, sir.
Thanks.
Can you please send that PDF of the images?
Yeah, sure, sir. I will share that also.
Sir, can you share URL link once again in a group?
It is already there in the notes, madam. Please open the notes in the portal.
Okay,
in the portal, I have given the URL.
Okay.
And I have given my properties file also in the notes.
Yeah,
if you see here, I have given the notes. In the notes, I mentioned my properties file also, right?
Okay.
In the property file, the URLs are available. This is a ticket post request URL and this is a get request URL. This is IP address of my Linux machine, which is in the AWS cloud.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi, sir.
Sir, whenever we are booking the ticket, the time we are getting the ticket details, right?
Right.
We can store the ticket details into
you can store
our
in the database also. Yeah, we can store in our database also.
We can retrieve from that because of every time we are depending in provider application. Right?
Yeah, I want to show you how to make a get request. Okay.
Okay.
We can store in our database. We can retrieve from our database also. But I want to show you how to make a get request from one project to another project. How to make a post request from one project to another project.
Okay.
So, sir, on the same thing, which would be the better, like storing on our DB or calling every time?
Guys, see here, for the train tickets, right? Sometimes tickets will be in the pending. IRCTC will change the status. No? So if you want updated status, you need to hit the IRCTC only. Okay. If the ticket status is confirmed status, that means it will be available in our database. You can fetch it from our database only. If the ticket is not confirmed, then when it will be confirmed, we don't know. That will be updated in the IRCTC DB. So we need to make a call to IRC. It depends on the requirement. So they will tell you when you need to fetch from your database, when you need to fetch from third-party API, you will get that requirement.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, one more question. For IRCTC application, we have not deep. In that application, we have not. Means in that application we have not developed a DB for that. So how can we stored and fetching for every ID?
I used a map concept. In the map, the tickets are stored in the IRCTC. Okay. If you want,
Okay,
you can
okay,
store in
got
the DB also, because I'm running in the cloud platform now. In the cloud, database will not be available. That's why I use a map concept.
Okay, got it, sir.
Yeah. If it is running in the local, I can keep it in the database also, but I am not running in the local. It is in the cloud machine. In that machine, database is not there. Yeah, got it. Fine, guys. Good. Thank you. We'll see you day after tomorrow. Please practice the API development as well as client development, guys. So you got the wonderful concept, how to develop a REST API and how to access a REST API, how one project will connect with another project with REST template, with web client also I explained. Please go through that. Thank you. We'll see you on Friday.